Focusing on the insurance industry now, because UAE insurance companies bouncing back from the heavy rains of early 2025. Profits for the sector in the first quarter of this year up by 24% for nearly $1 billion dirhams. We know that because a new report says so. That report is from Badri Management Consultancy. The managing director, Hatim Maskawala, joins us live. Morning, Hatim.
Hi, good morning.
Hatim, let's start with the good news. 24% increase for profits at insurance companies in the UAE. How did they achieve that?
So this year, the insurance industry is sort of benefiting from the prices that have increased over the past year. When rains happened in the first quarter and also in April, the April rains were very heavy, and the whole country knows about it. Uh, the prices started going up. And in insurance, once you bind the policy or you write the policy, you keep on earning the premium for the next 12 months. As the industry has increased the rates, they are benefiting this particular quarter from those higher rates. Plus, this year, there have not been any incidences as such, which would have led to higher cost as well.
Okay, let's talk
The
about
other
the...
thing is,
Sorry, carry
yeah.
on.
So one other point that happened is for medical insurance, Ramadan is normally a low period. This time, the entire Ramadan was in the month of March, so that also benefited the industry.
Let's talk about the revenue side of things. You say that insurance companies have increased the premiums that they're charging us. A two-part question. How much have they increased in ballpark terms? And which lines of insurance, motor, home, and so on, have seen the biggest increases?
So roughly, the motor insurance premiums have increased in the range of 15 to 20% over the course of last year. This was because the industry was losing money in the past on the rates at which they were selling the policies. In addition, health insurance has continued growing as the healthcare costs keep on increasing. And even the basic plan in Dubai, most of the insurance companies were able to increase the premiums because there were new benefits added by the government. So, in order to cater for the new benefits and the rising healthcare costs, they were able to increase the premiums.
What about home insurance in the wake of the rains that we had in Q1 last year? And of course, as you mentioned, in April, how much have home insurance premiums increased?
So home insurance, I believe it has like the sector has not really picked up from what we see. There's been slight increases, like people are purchasing it, but generally the public does not actively buy home insurance, and the rates I believe have not changed a lot for those.
Okay, that's good to hear. Let's talk about reinsurance. Of course, a lot of UAE insurance companies, like all insurance companies, they pass off a lot of their risk to reinsurance companies, and that's why reinsurance companies, global ones, were on the hook for a lot of the damage that happened in April last year. You say that reinsurance companies, though, are reassessing how they look at the UAE. What's happening with reinsurance?
So, in terms of the way the reinsurance companies are looking, A, the cost of reinsurance is going up. Secondly, they are also putting in event limits. So, like what happened on 16th of April, that was one event. All the claims one insurance company would have incurred because of that event on motor, let's say, would go to their motor reinsurer. So now they're putting in a maximum cap of event limit as well, because historically everyone used to say that the UAE is not prone to NatCat events, natural catastrophe events. But recently we have seen the limits coming down. So the event limits have started coming down. Secondly, the cost of reinsurance has started going up as well. And with many of these treaties, once you start claiming from the treaties, there is the premium rates are sliding scale. So if you start claiming from the treaties, the cost keeps on going up.
And the good news is that most insurance companies, I mean, largely insurance companies paid out for the April floods last year. They had the money either on their own balance sheet or reinsurance companies, so they paid out. What about next time it happens? Do they have either the reinsurance or the balance sheet strength to pay up if it happens again?
So at an industry level, the insurance industry does have solid capital base because the capital that an insurance company keeps is supposed to cater for a 1 in 200 year event. So even if an event like this reoccurs or there's some other natural catastrophe, the industry is robust enough to cater for these. Yes, individual companies might suffer or might face problems, but at an industry level, we do have sufficient capital to cater for these events.
Because there was a warning from Standard & Poor's, the ratings agency, just a few weeks ago about a handful of UAE insurance companies, particularly Takaful or Islamic insurance companies, saying there are issues about solvency. That was the word that Standard & Poor's used. How
Yes.
concerning is that?
So solvency measure is given or solvency requirements are given in the regulations. There are some companies who are currently below those solvency requirements. In the UAE industry, you've got two types of companies. Ones, those are listed companies whose financials everyone is able to see, and the others are foreign branches whose financials are not easily available to the public. Uh, Out of the 60 companies that are there, roughly around 20% of these companies are insolvent at the moment, and they
What
are
percentage was
putting
that?
in measures
Hatem, sorry,
around
what
20%.
around 20% are
Yes.
insolvent. Okay, that's a worry if
Yeah.
we're insuring our house or our car or whatever it may be. Last question, 30 seconds left with you. For someone listening to this at the moment, how do we find an insurance company that is robust? How do we as consumers know to insure a car with a company that is solid? I'm not asking you to name names, but how do we pick the winners?
So in terms of insurance like car insurance, it's not that worrying because the exposure is not very high. Whether a company is solvent or not, this is publicly available. Even in our industry reports, we publish the solvency ratios of companies. So that can so something for like car insurance, you don't have to worry a lot about the solvency of the company. But at the same time, you can see this information online. For something like your business, yes, you need to go with companies that are well rated and have higher solvency ratios.
Hatim, great talk to you. Appreciate your time. Thanks very much indeed for joining us today. Hatim Maskawala, Managing Director at Badri Management Consultancy and the author of that report on the UAE insurance sector.